What it do, YouTube? It's your boy, CBE FRANK. What it do, CBE family? We back with another one. In this video, we got why there was a hit on THF TP. If y'all know who TP is, he was a friend of Chief Keef, Lil Durk, THF, Bezu, and he was gunned down and killed a couple of months ago. I think close to a year now, but we finna see why YouTube and these YouTube streets think that he was gunned down. Let's get right into it. Damn, they just got out like that? Stood over him. With his girl right there? Was that his daughter? I think that was his daughter. That was with him. And his girl, they just... Damn.
What happens when the lines between music, fame, and street life blur? For Terrence THF TP Pearson, it was a deadly mix that ended tragically. Known for his contributions to Chicago's drill music scene, Pearson's life and death became a symbol of the violence that often lurks between the surface of the music that tells the story of the streets. In 2022, Pearson was shot in front of his daughter. A heartbreaking event that left fans, family, and the drill community in shock.
I'm not gonna lie, and that'd be crazy, and we be wondering why sometimes people just be doing crazy shit. It's because people be fucked up in the head, for real. On y'all way, people be fucked up in the head. Like, imagine you. I don't know how old that little girl was, but she looked like she might have been like anywhere between 10 and 13. You know what I'm saying? Imagine you at any age and 3 to 4 masked gunmen hop out while you with your dad or with your mom and unalive them like that. Stand over them and unalive them, and there's nothing you can do. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know everybody gonna, you don't know what you're gonna do. Then you just see this, like, you know how messed up as a grown man or woman, you know how messed up you will be to see that? You know how messed up you will be to see it on video? So to see it in real life, in real time, and to be that young, your brain ain't even developed yet. Like, people be out here really fucked up.
But how did he go from rising star to becoming another casualty in a city plagued by gang violence? Chicago was once again hit by massive violence, amply representative that it's hardly a week when the city escapes a horrible act of brutality. THF TP, whose full name was Terrence Pearson, age 30, a father of a young daughter, was shot dead in a brutal manner in front of his daughter. It was a planned attack, not a coup d'etat, but an outright plan to put a bullet through his head. His death was shocking, not just to his family, friends, and fans, but to the whole world. Now so that they're in search of the reasons for the tragedy that took his life. Pearson was well recognized as a member of the THF Trigger Happy family group, but deep in his heart, he wanted to go solo to make a different impact in the big and most importantly challenging Chicago hip-hop world. Slowly, people started to like his small clip style, and it looked like he would soon go mainstream. Still, he could not forget that to achieve his goal, one must go through quite a number of challenges. It wasn't all wine and roses in the life of this man. He's been an eyewitness to the dramatic images of life on the streets, even though sometimes it was hard to pay attention to them, seeking not to become involved in the everyday crime-related affairs, being the son of a man who knew the street world too well. Nevertheless, Pearson had said he recently started focusing on his music business. I thought that the father wanted a joyous life for his child that didn't include suffering and abuse, as the man had gone through. He wanted to stop the escalating cycle of crime within the family, to give the one thing he never had, no fear of the future. But, unfortunately, it was that same violence, the one which pursued him all his life, which would eventually separate him. They actually intended to go out on a casual date with his daughter on the day he was shot dead before he died. But what followed is unbelievable. Half an hour later, a sharp stench of gunpowder. Pearson fell and was hit all over his torso by bullets. After a brief struggle in which his face indicated he was suffocating, he collapsed to the ground. And right there, in front of him, the girl whom he knew as his daughter. All that had happened, she saw the tragic death of her father and her guardian, as well in the most terrible way a child would ever want to imagine. That was the moment that would play itself in her mind for the rest of her life, which nobody could have ever thought about. However, a video showing the gruesome shooting went viral only days after the incident, and people had reasons to wonder why incidents like that happened. Others had pointed out that, defiantly in Pearson's smash hit diss track, Bus Stop, he directed lyrics and threats to members of a rival gang, and this provoked a violent payback. Many thought that the shooting was because there was a blood feud between Pearson's THF crew and their own sworn rivals, 051 Young Money. In any case, the unprovoked butcher of another young man is again concerning the Chicago community in a cycle of mourning. For Pearson's family and the rest of the THF members, the history will remain a way of suffering and anger, and one more try to find justice. The larger community is thus left with bitter mirth, which is the catch-22 of violence, through which the people it has buried seems endless. As the city mourns the death of Terrence THF TP Pearson, it becomes difficult not to consider much more. The energetic drill music and gangsterism coupled with real-life contact have turned the streets into a very dangerous place for the young men such as TP, where people die young, kids grow up without their fathers, and many gather a handful of shattered dreams and sorrow as their heritage. Terrence THF TP Pearson is from the Bronzeville of Chicago. His childhood years were spent in buildings considered criminal and for abandonment. He said that his childhood must have been like that of other children dwelling in poor areas. But later on, in an interview explaining his life, state of origin, can only utter so much of the truth depicting poverty, drugs, and violence surrounding childhood.
Most people that grow up in the hood grow up like that. And everybody don't have the same story, but pretty much the same background, you know? And I understand people do violent things mainly out of hurt. Not nobody, but it's a very, very, very small percentage of people that just out here just hurting people and doing things to people just because they just want to. Like there's a very small amount that just get enjoyment out of it just because they like doing it. You know, it's people that get hurt and they feel better hurting other people, or they think that make them feel better. But 9 times out of 10, it's because they're really, really, really hurt. And I'm just waiting for us as a community to get together and be like, bro, we all hurt. We all lost people. We all growing up messed up, not right. And still taking it out on each other, let's build each other and take it out on other people that's not like us, literally.
In all the adversities he faced in his life, he realized what he wanted and began rapping to avoid getting into that sort of predicament. It's obvious that prison keeps TP from concentrating on his musical activity further. Moreover, he loses some school. Despite this, he did well in his earlier class levels, including being one of the brilliant kids he once revealed this loss. These experiences shaped him, and his music, the hardships of young years, shaped him to have a view of life different from the rest. This he expressed through his genre songs. In the midst of these ordeals of life, one, however, never changed. The gang, the Trigger Happy family gang that he grew up with. THF is a relatively large group in and around the Southside area of Chicago, primarily in Kenwood, especially around 46th Street and Ellis. These have been involved in many forthcoming showdowns and other gangs over the years that they've been active. Still, TP was not just a gang to him, but they were family, he explained in an interview.
Family, you know, different shit, you know what I'm saying? It ain't no GDPD thing, none of that. We just a family. We THF.
So, THF, is that strictly music?
Shit, some motherfuckers do music, some motherfuckers do that clothing lines and shit. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Some motherfuckers write shit, you know? A lot of motherfuckers surround this family, you know what I'm saying?
But it's not a street thing.
In the case of TP, for instance, it was not whether they were in a gang, but whether they belonged to the THF. Quite literally, the participants in THF were always ready to help each other with music business or personal issues. But of course, the outside world mostly recognized THF for its gang ties and the ongoing rivalry with another well-known group. Below is YM051, found on 51st Street and Cottage Grove Avenue in the Bronzeville neighborhood. Many future killers in Chicago see YM051 as one of the most dangerous gangs due to the fact that they believe it was involved in the murder of Leonard Capone Anderson in 2013 and Kamari, Babo, Belmont in 2017. At least to some extent, the rivalry between THF and YM051 has been violent, and some of the parties involved even lost members. This has basically been a constant conflict in the drill rap music category, where the artists of one sing or tweet obscene things to the artists on the other side. P-Coach for TP, the decision was always to stay on THF, while in this mortal combat with Creeks. This is because such time within the prison environment reduced TP's opportunity to frame his total awareness towards the music career. And secondly, he also lost his school attendance. But this happened despite the fact that he had been a gifted student. In his earlier years of school, he shared this problem and said that
Chino, D-Thing, bro.
Yeah, you had a lot of... So since it done hit 2 mil now, 2.1 mil, I just checked before we started the interview. How does that feel as an artist? Like
that shit like 2 trophies for me.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna lie, at least I can say I did it. You know what I'm saying? I don't care how long it took. I did that shit. Like, a lot of motherfuckers can't say they got 2.1 million views on one song. And I could have did it without my niggas or my cameraman, THF Production, shout out him. Bro, I couldn't did it without them.
So with the current state of Chicago rap right now, do you feel like it's necessary to make disrespectful songs, this and that?
These experiences shaped his life and his songs, and he came up with a vantage point of society that he enclosed in his songs. It took 3 months before TP included the memory of Lil Mark on his biggest hit, Bus Stop. With the lyrics, Smoking Mark, with the bros, got my eyes bloodshot, I'm on my block. This violence did not end in part there of the two sides, yet the violence ended, and with the conclusion of the violence, so ended the two sides part. It progressed into the execution and shooting of Kamari Belmont, alias Bobo, of THF. It was reported that Bobo shot on the deck Lil Chief of YM051, and vice versa. They both died. Before that, he attempted murder after a robbery, but was released due to mistaken charges by Cook County prosecutors. It only took 5 hours and 45 minutes, and Bobo was dead, gunned down in a car with 2 other friends. He was later killed, and the offense was committed by Ricky Ross Anderson from YM051. Had Bobo been killed, the violence persisted and escalated. Area Fitch, known as 5-1 Area, had a sister who was killed at a gasoline station, what some may call a bloody end. Ario then shot 2 youths, having 15-year-old Raheem Damron Thomas from THF High Dead. Ario was arrested for first-degree murder, but according to the information, he's now out of jail in 2023. He's also been fingered in the murder of Raheem Damron. Though there is not enough evidence to support such theory, 051 Melly has time and again been linked to murder circumstances now. It would not all be surprised that Melly was implicated in some way because Raheem had shot at him in the past. Melly has also been accused of having a hand in the death of rapper Lil Durk's manager, OTF Chino, who's affiliated with THF. Chino was killed while sitting in a parked car with a woman, reportedly to avenge a video of Lil Durk at the scene where Lil Mark was murdered. Facts about place in the song Bus Stop, TP actually referred to this place. Behind the music, behind the fame, there's a dangerous world waiting to claim its next victim. For Terrence Pearson, what started as an ordinary night quickly spiraled into a tragedy no one could have predicted. His dream of becoming a rapper, something he worked tirelessly for, was shattered in an instant. The truth behind his death may be darker and more twisted than anyone could have imagined. Was this tragedy the result of old rivalry, or is there something far more sinister hiding beneath the surface? The answers you were about to hear could change everything you thought you knew about the story.
I ain't gonna lie, like, I honestly think it's dissing the dead, bro. Like, I really do believe that, because if you look at the Chicago drill, that's the most publicized drill war, street war, probably ever. You know what I'm saying? And everybody from that era that made songs dissing the dead is either dead or in jail. The only person that looked like nothing was gonna happen to them was Lil Durk. And even the ones that might not be unalive and the ones that might not be in jail right now, it'd be a lot of things happening around them. You know, even if they like billionaire, even if they out the city, things still happen around them. You know what I'm saying? I think that aura, that energy that you speak, the tongue is very powerful. I just said this on another video. The tongue is very powerful, bro. So the things you say, it really come back into fruition. Like that energy really sits there. And if you letting energy like that sit there, it's a matter of time until you get swallowed up by that energy. Pause. And I think that's what happened to THF TP. You know, like I remember back in the day, Lil Durk did like a little video of him standing at the bus stop where Lil Mark died and saying it's a very famous spot. You know what I'm saying? This bus stop. Then he had free THF TP in the little caption thing of the video. And for you to come out and get a second chance at life, and you still on that, and you dissing somebody that you allegedly had something to do with unaliving him, I think, like, at that point, if you believe in God, I think that's when God's like, all right, you know, like you playing like you me, and then you don't have no remorse, no sorrow for it. I don't know. But I think that be the reason why a lot of these guys be, you know, and if you got something going on, and I understand people be dissing each other to go back and forth, but try not to involve somebody that's not here no more. If you want to diss somebody, diss the people that's still here. You know, diss the people that's still here. I understand it's to hurt them, but diss the people that's still here. I feel like if you love your life, do it. Don't do it for them. Do it for you. You know what I'm saying? Do it for you. But until next time, go ahead, subscribe, like, comment, and if you don't, you out.